Have you ever wanted to be the Dark Knight in Starfield? Well, you can, sort of. All you need to do is grab a certain ship referred to as the Razor Leaf, an armor piece called the Mantis Armor, while knocking all the pirates out with your fist. But first, we have to get the data pad that will give us the mission called the Mantis in order to do so. In order to get the Mantis data pad, we have to roam around the star systems and have a run-in with any spacers that we can find. One of the best ways to run into spacers is by completing either quests of Back to Vector or the neighborhood, as they are crawling with them. One or a few of those random spacers should drop the data pad called the Secret Outpost. Once you get that data pad, you don't necessarily have to read it either, as it will just pop up in your corner of your screen and show the Mantis. After you queue up your quest, now you're going to make sure you travel over to the planet called Denobla 1-B, which is in the Denobla system. It's kind of far, so you may have to jump from one star system to the other if you do not have it already unlocked, or if your quantum drive is a little bit lower, as it does take multiple jumps in order to get to that system. Once you make it to the planet, you will get an unwelcome greeting from more spacers and looters. They are trying to break into the lair, but are having a tough time doing so just because they don't know exactly what they're doing. There are a ton of enemies in the lair as well that you do have to get through. I highly suggest quick save as often as possible. You will run into higher level enemies that can become a problem and also be very annoying as they send you back and forth and back and forth. By quick saving, we don't have to rerun from the lair from the beginning as often and going back through those same enemies. Be sure to also loot all the bodies that you find in as well. Some will have different data pads that give hints to the password from the puzzle that's inside at the very end. They can also carry different items like credits, weapons, armors, and some other odds and ends. They're usually in the different corners of the rooms, also in different rooms itself, so some will lead to some places that don't even matter. And it can be quite easy to get distracted. I found myself just looting non-stop, and it just made it more worthwhile, but the enemies there also kept interrupting me. So just be sure to take your time, enjoy what you're doing while you're in there, and make sure you get everything that you can. And don't forget that you can always come back at the end of this to also get those items that you may have missed. Eventually you run into a character named Livy, who is down there actually exploring everything, but he does kind of try to betray you at the end of it all, but he never got the chance with me. After you've dealt with Lenny, now we're on to the puzzle. Now be extremely careful here, as if you do step on any of the wrong pressure plates, you will trigger the lasers and they will destroy you and beat you out of existence. But for those of you that have been paying attention and have been picking up all the loot and the extra data pads, it does tell you the password on one of those. And for those that do not want it, I do suggest skipping now. But for those that do want it, I'm going to go ahead and tell you. It is TYRANNIS. Now you can definitely go ahead and just do it this way, which is the right way to do it. Or you can do it like me and just destroy all the turrets and blow them up and then just walk through like it's nothing. Now we can finally become the Dark Knight of the Galaxy. Once you make it through the puzzle, you have a couple more enemies to get through. Super easy, just push through them and then you get to get inside the cave. Once you get into the cave, you'll see the starship on the other side. Just go over there, pull the lever, and it's going to elevate it up. I pulled mine really quick because I was just super excited, plus I had the armor next. The armor piece, which is the Mantis armor, is super nice. It has many different attributes, it has a really cool color scheme, and its helmet's kind of cool as well. But the best part about it is that if you quick save before you actually get the armor piece and look at it or anything, you can actually get a re-roll on it every single time. So I've seen some people online and a couple friends of mine, what they've done is they've quick saved, looked at it, didn't like it, reloaded it up, and did it again until they got the attributes that they wanted. I personally didn't need to do it just because I got it on the first roll and I really wasn't that concerned about it, but it is an option to have, and it's actually a cool option to have if you really actually want to do that. That'll be it for our video today, guys. You have learned a lot. You probably got the armor, got the ship. Hopefully you're out there in space just being the vigilante that you're meant to be, taking down every single bad guy, or just being a bad guy at the same time, because vigilantes can be anything that you actually want them to be. My personal thing, I like my Dark Knight, aka my vigilante, to enjoy himself and be the in-between guy. But if you'd like to actually check out what we do and what we're going to be doing in the future, there actually is this video in the corner. So why don't you check that out, and we'll see you then.